gentlemen, welcome back to the DMB show. I am one of your hosts, Drew, and that is who?
Oh, that was me.
Yeah,
I'm Brandon. I
nice
am the other half of the hosting.
of the hosting.
So
Yeah,
he's the hoster, I'm the hostess.
hostess. I think we didn't we do this last week?
We did.
I think we
That's why I
did.
brought it back up.
It's a while like it just came to your memory. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. We very greatly appreciate whether you're a returning listener or a new listener. We're grateful for everybody. This week is a really exciting episode. We'll have an interview here shortly with a very good friend, a loyal listener, should I say.
He's actually Jeff.
Whoa, plot twist.
What?
He's Jeff. No, we have an interview with Mr. Douglas Craig, very good friend of ours. He has found a success in e-commerce, private label, FBA. He definitely has a very good mindset and strategy when it comes to how his approach. He's already a very successful individual, and he's only found more success with this. So it was a really good interview. We had a lot of fun, chopping it up with him.
Yep. Yeah, he's a good dude. You'll like him a lot, and he's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How long have you known him?
um,
Because you introduced him to
3 or 4 years.
3 years.
3 years. 3 years. I've known of him longer than I've known him.
Oh, okay.
We got introduced through a mutual friend and a past business that we both were involved in. He was leaving that business as I was getting into it, and then we've kind of had that in common. So yeah, it's been a few years that we've like actually had a relationship though. But like literally, we talk almost every day, even if it's just stupid stuff. It used to be every Tuesday. That was just like his relaxation day, and I leave my voicemail box full because like I get so many voicemails, it's annoying. And if someone actually needs to contact me, they have my business number and they can leave a voicemail there. But he would just leave me dumb random messages in these accents and stuff pretty much every Tuesday, or he would leave me like some Snapchat video. But yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he's been doing e-commerce for a little while, so he's done a good job.
Mm-hmm. I think you guys will definitely enjoy listening to him and listen to us ask him questions and interview him.
Yeah.
It was a really good time. I think that's all we have so far. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and get into the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the long-awaited and
bring the energy, man. Bring it.
I don't feel good. I'm trying my best here.
Drew's been sick for 2 weeks.
Literally ever since he got back. No, welcome to the long-awaited and highly anticipated interview with none other than Mr. Douglas Craig himself.
Crickets. I mean, clap, 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 clap.
Oh no, everybody's excited. Everybody's excited. Welcome, Doug. Thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for giving us a chance to interview you today.
Oh man, it's my pleasure. We are happy to be here, and by we I mean myself.
Yeah.
I love to hear it. Love to hear it.
We're glad you're here too.
Oh yeah.
But
maybe I'm sure Jeff is happy for him to be here.
Yeah, Jeff is our one subscriber.
Yeah.
So.
One subscriber, one listener. He's loyal though, so I'm sure he'll listen to this.
I'm just kind of bummed I wasn't invited to the studio.
Look, man. Microphones are expensive, right?
Hey, that might be a good Amazon product, huh?
It's saturated.
There we are.
Satched. We call it satched.
All right. Well, Doug, again, thank you for being here. We talk about e-commerce. We talk about many different business lanes and avenues to get involved in. Give us a little bit about like yourself, a little bit about your story. Let people know who you are.
Yeah, so I don't know, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I had a gentleman named Brandon Golomsky that's sitting to your left. Actually came to my corporate office there in Findlay, Ohio, and pitched me the idea of selling on Amazon.
And he laughed at me.
At first, I laughed. I made fun of him. He left pretty down and out that day.
Right.
but he actually shared a video with me that I went home and I watched, and I got excited. And that night, I basically started my career as a seller on Amazon. I do
Nice.
private label products.
Nice, man. So you can thank Brandon for it, huh?
He thanks me
I
every
can.
week. It's
I
a
thank
thing.
him every Monday. I thank him.
Literally. Thank you for introducing me to e-commerce. I get that text.
Get that text every morning as soon as you wake up. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for introducing
Yeah.
me.
He writes down my name in his journal every morning.
I do.
With a heart.
He's in my gratitude book.
Wow, that's quite an accomplishment, Brandon.
I didn't know that.
I
Doesn't
don't
make
have
you
a
feel
I don't have a gratitude book. I just thought that would sound cool.
That'd make a great Amazon product.
There you go.
No competition, because no one wants that. So.
Oh shoot.
Well, sweet. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you to Brandon for getting Doug and
I'm just saving the
to
world,
it.
man, one person at a time.
Yeah, because without you, we wouldn't be sitting here interviewing him.
Without me, I wouldn't be here either.
True.
So I gotta thank me too.
Exactly. A little self-love. So I think you said about a year and a half ago you got involved in it?
Yeah, I would say it's been about a year and a half now. Yes.
Okay, cool. Sweet. That's quite a bit of time already. So Brandon got you started. Like when you watched that video or maybe, did your own research, what really made you want to pursue it?
Well, I'm in the restaurant business right now. We're actually building a pizza franchise, so I know what it's like to have a lot of overhead, with paying rent and paying electric bills and gas bills and employee wages and all that stuff. And when Brandon first pitched the idea to me, he pitched it in a manner of, you can make a lot of money doing something without all that overhead. And so I would say that's probably the thing that really piqued my interest is the thought of not having a brick and mortar, but being able to make a residual income literally every single day.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So would you kind of consider it like a side hustle for you right now?
For sure. All my manufacturers currently are in China, so they're awake when I'm supposed to be sleeping. So I would get home at night after running my restaurant and they would be waking up. So it was the perfect opportunity to be able to do a side hustle at night, like you called it, when I wasn't sleeping anyways. Usually I was up. So I started talking to the manufacturers at night, and it kind of took off for me.
Sweet. I think that's kind of similar. Would you say what was your timetable in comparison? Do you think?
Yeah, pretty similar all over the place. So
Yeah. Okay.
How many products do you have currently?
Well, I have 1,700 products sold.
Okay, so I get a royalty on any of these?
No, let me slow down on how many products I have just for 1 second and tell you that, I'm 41 years old and I'm married with 3 kids. So when, and maybe Jeff, I'm not sure how old he is, he's listening today, but maybe he didn't want to put a lot of risk up front. And that was kind of me. So I've been starting off relatively slow. I started with 1 product, then I went to 2, then I went to a variation of the first product that I made. And now I'm working on really my 3rd new product right now. So I only have 3 going. I might have went a little bit harder, a little faster if I didn't have a family to think about, because for me, I didn't want to take unnecessary risks up front. I've been kind of safe with it, but it's paid off.
Nice. That's really cool to hear. Plus, it's not like you don't have anything else going on, right? Like you're building a pizza franchise. So it's definitely something that you need to maybe kind of take a slower approach at.
Yeah. No
That's
doubt.
cool.
Plus, my wife thought I was crazy when I got involved in it, so I had to, pump the
Yeah.
brakes a little
Gotta
bit.
look at the source. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure that's legit.
I'm sure that will work.
Yeah.
That's funny. So you said you private label, right? Is kind of what your niche is.
Yeah, that's me. Private label. I mean, it's real. It's simple, but it's not easy. You know, you find a product that's not completely saturated, and you find a way to make it better. And I've always told Brandon, I want to be organically showing up on page one. You know, and I know that sounds simple. Like I said, it's a simple philosophy, but it's not easy to do. So it takes a long time to find that product and make it better than everyone else's, and try to get organically placed on page one. And we've been able to do that now 3 times, which has been pretty cool.
Definitely.
It's actually like irritating how like it works for him, because like all the things that are important that like, you know, I consider when I'm looking at products like aren't even a factor, and he's, you know, still able to have the products, you know, be at the top of the page. And he's very careful with the product selection.
I mean,
Yeah.
it takes like kind of along with that. Like, what is your thought process like when it comes to like a product and like thinking of one?
I would say bundle or kit. You know, I'll take a product and I turn it into a bundle. I think one of the best tips I ever got from Brandon was, you find a product that's not saturated, and then you find out what customers usually buy with that product. You know what I mean? When you go to check out of Amazon, they're going to make a suggestion of, hey, these things are recently or normally purchased together, you know, and that's kind of how I've built my my company so far, is finding products that are normally purchased together, but bundling them together so it's, you know, it's just one click for the customer instead of them having to buy, you know, from a couple different sellers, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. You know, since you've seen some fairly, I don't want to say quick, but definitely you've seen success early here. What is your idea of success, I would say?
Yeah, and this may sound weak. I don't know, but my ideas of success is having multiple products doing at least 5,000 in sales a month. Okay, that needs to be the minimum for a product for me. 5,000. Obviously, I want to do more than that, but that is success for me. If I'm able to private label a product, we're hitting that 5K a month in sales. You know, I'm patting myself on the back.
No, definitely. Yeah. It's important, I would say, to like have a goal or have something for you to like reach for, you know, when it comes to like how many sales you're looking to do or anything along those lines.
I think there's a bit of safety with that approach too. You know, everyone wants that product that does 50,000 a month. And then Amazon comes and slaps you in the face and you can't have that product anymore, then your business is gone. Or if you have stock issues, like you're waiting for all your inventory to come in for that one product, it's on a boat that's stuck sideways, you know?
Yeah.
But when you've got multiple products that help really build that foundation, and then it's really just a rinse and repeat thing, you know? So yeah, I think you've done a really smart, taken a smart approach.
Thanks. And you know, it may sound real simple again, but I want to be able to, you know, have 600 units made and shipped directly into Amazon without having to worry about getting hit with fees because I'm in their warehouse too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is success to me, is being able to private label a product that I can ship directly in, never touch, and sell out of rather quickly. And never have to worry about, you know, paying those storage fees for sure.
Definitely. When it came to like, you know, I would say picking or choosing, you know, private label, did you like consider at all like wholesale, arbitrage, anything like that?
So I'm a pretty simple-minded human being. So when Brandon has a way of multitasking like no one I've ever seen. Like I have, every time I talk to him, he's talking about something else, and my mind just doesn't function like that. You know, I kind of grabbed a hold of private label and I said, this is going to be my thing. And I really haven't looked at anything else. Because again, if I try to focus on too many things, then I just do a bunch of things poorly instead of focusing in on that one thing and doing it, to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm. It's called ADHD.
Brand, it's funny because it's like, hey man, how you doing? Oh man, it's really taken off. But now we're gonna do CBD, so
Yeah.
I have to stay focused, otherwise I kind of fizzle out.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're always on the move, man.
I mean, that's how I am, just as a person, but also like, the diversity that you have with, a few products, and those are gonna like together are gonna create your little empire. That's how I view these business opportunities is, if one takes a hit, I have other things that are, able to offset that. But it does get exhausting mentally when you're spread out all over the place and jumping around, but there is some safety in that too. But it's not for everybody.
And we touched on it earlier. I'm pizza from 9 a.m. to 9 o'clock at night, and then I'm able to set that completely down and then work on my Amazon. So I do multitask, but it's it's almost like having two jobs. You clock out of the first one and then move to the second one, but I don't think I can get a third job or a 50th job like Brandon has.
Definitely, yeah. So I guess you kind of started answering it a little bit, but you're a very busy individual, like you were just saying. How do you like find balance with everything? Because it's definitely not easy.
Yeah, I mean, and I hate to repeat myself, but balance is easy for me with Amazon because I never really slept. I was always up late anyways, you know what I mean? So it just gave me an opportunity to use those hours where I wasn't being productive now to be able to be productive when maybe I was just watching Netflix until 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just about using those hours, because in the US, I mean, at some point your pizza shop is going to close, and you're not going to keep making money there at 3 o'clock in the morning. I guess you could, but I'm not interested in that.
Gas station pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah.
Well, I think your approach to the business allowed for you to be balanced too. You have one concept. You have lower competition products. You're able to just focus on one thing at a time and gradually add those to your catalog. And so you took a very well-paced approach to begin with, to help maintain that balance, and it's paid off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think just knowing everybody knows the limitations, and when you put those in place, and you can definitely find success in that if you know that within yourself.
For the longest time, I used to tell myself I'm going to get better at things I'm not good at. And then I realized that that's not actually what I needed to be doing. What I needed to be doing was focusing on the things I am good at and doing more of that, but hiring other people to do the things I wasn't good at, if that makes sense. So when it came to like creating marketing material and stuff like that, I wasn't great at that. So I hired that done. So all my images on Amazon are being created by a professional, not by me. And that also frees up my time, because I'm not sitting in front of a computer making up crappy graphics to try to sell a product. I'm paying someone else.
Man.
What's up, man?
Taking shots at me?
Not at all. I'm taking shots at myself.
No, that's great advice. That's one of my weak spots, is like, I'm that jack of all trades, like, oh, I can do this, but I'm not going to do it as well as someone that you could just pay to do it. And then the things that like I am good at, sometimes will suffer from me trying to learn too many things too. So yeah, that's a good lesson there.
No doubt.
Did you at all, like, because you're running a very successful pizza franchise, did you take anything from like that process and kind of translate it to
private label?
Yeah, when you open up a restaurant, you gotta do logo design. You gotta, again, you gotta be fairly decent at marketing, and if you're not, you gotta hire someone to do it for you. So it pretty much goes hand in hand. No matter what kind of business you're running, whether it's e-commerce or a restaurant, a lot of those principles translate from one business to the other. You know, I think one thing that really sticks out to me is the fact that in my pizza business, I'm a fanatic about customer service, and I'm still that way when it comes to Amazon. I got a bad review here recently, and I chased that person down on Amazon and fixed it. And I got them to totally rewrite the review instead of just being like, oh, well, I got this one bad review, because I'm literally a fanatic about, providing great customer service. So I would say that that's something that I translated over pretty easy, but that's just who I am.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, taking care of the customer, right? Like no matter what business you're in, taking care of the person who's buying your product.
Yeah, he's literally obsessed.
I know.
I am. Well, they employ me. That's the way I've always looked at it. My
Yeah.
customers employ me like I work for them.
Good point.
And but it's no different with Amazon. And that's actually how Amazon was built. They actually built Amazon based on how do we make this great for the customer. Every decision they made was based on making it a great experience for the customer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that, occasionally makes it challenging to be a seller on Amazon. Like they have that equal obsession with customer satisfaction. But I think that also helps, people that are legit to stand out and to be able to have longevity in their business by doing it the right way. I actually had a question. So when I was learning about Amazon several years ago, most of the people that were like trying to get people involved in the business are, get away from the rat race, quit your job and do this, right? And the approach that you have is you basically just built a business in addition to something that you're doing. It hasn't replaced that. Do you think that not falling for like the hype, but just like viewing this as a legit business opportunity and taking the patient approach that you have, do you think that that's contributed to a lot of the success?
Yeah, I looked at it like this, and you might remember me saying this to you, Brandon, early on, but I said, if I can get Amazon to pay my mortgage, I mean, rock solid. That's what I was going for.
He lives in a mobile home. His mortgage is like $200 a month. So
I'm in my parents' basement. No, but seriously, a lot of times I mean, I don't mean to sound like a loser here when it comes to Amazon, but like, I was not the guy that was like, I'm going to make $1 million. Now it could happen, but my goal, it's incremental. Like, let's start off and pay my mortgage every month. And then my next goal is, could I pay my mortgage twice or 24 times in 1 year off of Amazon? And then what's next for me after that? And it's just little steps to get to where I want to go. Ultimately, I think it's a sickness to never be satisfied. Like I told Brandon the other day, I remember a point in time where I said, man, if I'm doing XYZ on Amazon, I would just be happy as could be. And now I'm doing that, and I'm like, what's next? Where can I take it from here?
Yeah.
But I do think for me in this particular endeavor, I think patience has been important for what I've been able to do so far.
Nice. Definitely. Yeah, I was just about to say patience. It seems like that has definitely paid off for you in a big way.
Yeah.
If you for someone who is interested in private label, FBA, what's like a piece of advice that you could give to them if they're interested or want to know more?
Yeah. So for me, I have never beat up my supplier. Okay. When I found a supplier that I knew I could trust and they gave me a price, obviously I'm going to try to negotiate. But when I can tell that it's, we're at the bottom line, I stop, I thank them, and we move forward. And I think that it's important to build good relationships with a supplier or multiple suppliers where you're not trying to beat them up so bad that they don't even really want to work for you anymore, because you're trying to cut into their profit margin. I've tried to find a balance between me hitting my goals, but also them wanting to do business with me because they're also doing well. So that would be the advice I would give: is find a good supplier and don't beat the snot out of them, but try to create a relationship that will carry on for years and years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you're trying to build and run a business, and that's what they're doing too. So everybody has to eat,
Yeah, and at first, you're dealing with China, and it's a completely different country, so you're like, this is shady, and they could take advantage of me. But it was Brandon that told me early on. He goes, listen, man, they want to do business just like you want to do business. So, it was kind of that mindset where I was like, let's just trust that's true. And it has been. I haven't had any issues dealing overseas yet. And I think that's because they want to do business with you just like you want to do business on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not trying to, nickel and dime, get the absolute cheapest price, or you just, aren't very humanly with them, that almost invites, problems. So
Yes.
kind of what I'm sensing from basically everything that you've been saying this little while is just the relationships with people, how important that is, really with any business, even though with this is e-commerce, you don't have a ton of like face-to-face interactions, excuse me. But, treating people right in every facet of the business, whether it's your customer or, your supplier, how far that goes.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, it also kind of, dives into, how much how much you value customer service, right? Because you're providing you a service and you want to make them happy. So I think that definitely plays a little bit into it.
No doubt.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for joining us and being here.
Absolutely, man. I've been waiting all day for this. I was gonna start drinking early this morning, but didn't.
Turns out you started drinking last night and just haven't stopped. So. We appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a treat.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks for sharing your little nuggets of wisdom.
No problem, man.
There isn't much for people to glean off of, but hopefully they can find something. So.
It's good you don't have any subscribers at this point.
Touche.
All right, guys.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much,
Have a good
Doug.
one.
Yep.
Man, what a great interview that was. He was a lot of fun to talk to. You don't like him?
No,
Man,
he's
don't
trash.
let him hear that. Oh, that's all I love. No, yeah, such a good interview, such a good guy. We definitely enjoyed having him on the podcast, and we'll definitely have to have him back soon. Ask him some more questions.
After his next product launch,
There you go.
which is coming. He hasn't told me what it is yet.
He
I'm
hasn't?
curious. No,
Ooh.
that's when I know it's big, because like the first three, he's like, "Hey, this," and I'm like, "Okay," and now he's like, "I can't tell you." So he's got confidence in what he's doing, and it's probably going to be the biggest thing yet.
That's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's good. He has a lot of good ideas, and he finds success no matter what he does. So
It's weird. Like, I mean, I look at Doug as a mentor, but like from the Amazon world, he's almost like a student, for me. So our relationship, it like flips depending on like what we're doing, what we're talking about. But yeah, there's definitely a lot that I've learned from him, and hopefully I've taught him a few things too.
I'm sure you have. I mean, in the interview, he definitely gave you a lot of praise for
He had
quite a few
to.
things.
He was being recorded. There's a gun to his head in that basement.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not his basement, by the way. He's got a super nice, or it is his basement, but it's not his mom's basement. Like I said. He has a super nice house.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Doug, again. If you're listening to this, thank you for joining us. So next week, we will be getting into more about private labeling, kind of what we're talking about with Doug there. We're going to kind of break it down a little bit, private labeling, and talk about more the ins and outs of it. When it comes to product research, when it comes to trying to find that successful product, finding a good area, niche. There you go. To get into, maybe something that you're
As the
interested.
white boys say, gotta find the right niche.
There you go. What Brandon said. No, you have, finding that right audience and something maybe that you're interested in, that you can find passion in, which is important.
We'll look at different ways to do that because there's so many different approaches that you can take. The first product that Doug came up with, literally he was sitting on his back porch and observed something, and then it triggered a thought for him to go search that product on Amazon, and then he discovered that market. Like, the odds of him finding what he has through just like the standard run stuff, through Jungle Scout or Helium 10 extension, like, he would never have found this product. So we'll kind of discuss different ways to get ideas for things, unique ways to look at just opportunities that are right in front of us that the average person probably is not looking at. So yeah, and that's it's been similar for the products that I've been able to launch. There's always something in life that's kind of triggered me to look for the opportunity on Amazon. It's not just like your traditional throw a bunch of numbers into a piece of software and it tells you what's there. Requires some creativity.
Oh, definitely. I mean, kind of like what we're doing is like your passion, right? Like, you have a very invested interest. Nobody knows.
They can figure it out.
I mean, I'm sure they will.
So you don't have to be passionate about a product for it to work. It can be just the numbers and you being smart with things.
Yeah. Because there's definitely some people who love numbers and love that research.
But yeah, I mean, we'll get into all that stuff. It'll be very informative.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It'll be our first kind of podcast where we're getting into,
The meat and taters.
Exactly. Yep. Gonna get into it.
Get into the meat and potatoes of that niche.
Exactly.
Kick it in a niche.
Exactly.
I wish I was a Southern man, but I'm not.
Southern would be really cool. Stupid Ohioans.
Yeah, it's what it is. I'm actually from Michigan, but
True.
that's even worse. I'm from Ohio. We'll say that.
There you go. So really exciting episode next week for you guys. Again, big shout out to Doug for being on here on the podcast this week. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's listened. Whether you're again a new listener or you listen to our other podcasts. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to check us out. All the socials will be in the description of the podcast, so go ahead and check us out there. And other than that, that's all I got for you guys. Goodbye.
Peace.